Are you recording right now?
Yeah. I'm live right now.
Pan around.
Yeah, well.
Hello, Grand Rapids! What a beautiful day! Can you hear me? Wonderful. Are you guys all here from the first event? Have we had our friends join us yet? Yeah, some of them? Okay, perfect, great. We are going to get started here. I do want to make just a couple quick announcements. So we are going to bring up Ivan Diaz, who is running for Michigan State Senate. He's going to give us a really powerful speech on how we can connect here in the community. We have a situation in Grand Rapids. We are not all united in where we face with our police and with ice raids and everything happening is not okay. And we are going to hear today how we can take back control, how we can protect our own, how we can protect the people around us and the most impacted. So the people that you're going to hear are going to tell you how to do that. They're going to tell you where their tables are out in this crowd, and then we're going to march. Sound good? I'll come back out here before we march, but just remember what I always tell you, white bodies on the outside, we protect the people most impacted, and that does not change today. That does not change. We will not go back to what we had before. We protect our own here. If you did not see the news yesterday, there were two very well-known prominent gentlemen that live in the Boston Square area that were thrown down on the ground and brutally arrested by GRPD. We have to protect our own. We have invited our community out here. We have invited those that are most impacted out here. It is important we stand together. Okay? Okay. I am so proud to bring to the stage Ivan Diaz, our next Michigan State Senate.
My friends, we are at war. I say again, we are at war. But we are not at war with another nation, nor are we at war with an army of invaders. We are not at war with another nation, nor are we at war with an army of invaders. We are at war with poverty and discrimination. We are at war with and materialism. We are at war with racism and sexism. We are at war with individualism. And we are at war with that which ties all these together. That system, that worldview that benefits the ruling class while stepping on the necks of the rest of us. We are at war with imperialism itself. The ruling class has stuck together for generations, bombing nations around the world, destabilizing entire countries, and causing mass migration and causing
You don't need no microphone, brother.
and causing mass migration in almost every continent. The ruling class has built a system that oppresses and enslaves us all for the never-ending thirst of financial profit. The ruling class built a system that is destroying our world itself, overusing our natural resources and causing destabilization of our worldwide climate. They are the same people who tell us that the so-called American dream of making money and becoming rich is more important than human rights or helping your neighbor.
Shame!
We must break free from this way of thinking and seeing the world.
Yes!
We must have a revolution of consciousness because this is the only way to build a better world. If we choose to demand better, our institutions will have no choice but to change or fall. We must not let anything stop this revolution. I have been in this fight for 10 years now. And at that time, I've seen it all. Those of you who have seen me speak before know that I typically don't write down what I want to say, but there's specific things that I want to say today, so I have no other choice. In those 10 years that I've spent organizing in this community, I have seen it all. I have seen politicians coming into our neighborhoods, election cycle after election cycle, promising change, getting elected, and then doing nothing to help us. I have seen Republicans hold a trifecta during the first Trump administration, promising to end war and fight for the working class, just to turn around and do nothing but pass tax breaks for billionaires and millionaires. I have seen Democrats run for office, come into our neighborhoods, promise to fight for the working class. I have seen voters give those Democrats a trifecta, and I have seen those same Democrats, many of them elected in this city and in this county, and many of them showing up at the protest and at the rally that just ended, promising to fight for the working class, just to turn around and take money from the lobbyists who are working for billionaires and millionaires. I helped organize around the redistricting efforts after we voted to end gerrymandering in Michigan. I was the first person to file to run for the 83rd House District in 2023. Very soon after that, a man by the name of John Fitzgerald reached out and told me that he wanted to meet. We met at the Big B right next to Wyoming City Hall on 28th Street. And the very first thing that John Fitzgerald said to me is that he thought that I should drop out because it would not be good for the Democratic Party for there to be a contested primary. That is what I want you all to understand. Is that right now the Republicans have turned into a cult of personality, owing their allegiance not to the Constitution, not to the people, but to one man who has turned into a fascist dictator. And I have seen the Democratic Party turn into almost nothing else but a tool for the billionaire class to promise the working class thing after thing, just to then turn around and say, for that reason or another, there's nothing we can do. We deserve better. In 2022, I became the first Latino in our county's history elected to the Kent County Board of Commissioners. During that time, I saw all kinds of shit. I was meetings with the other Democrats who were also on the county, some of those Democrats would say when it was just ourselves in that caucus, I don't agree with what the Republican majority is doing on the county. I don't think it's right, but I don't want to get primaried. So I'm going to go ahead and vote for it anyway. Very early on, I realized that all of our systems are broken. Very early on in my term, I realized that I could either choose to run for re-election to the county and keep messing around with the same broken systems, or I could choose to do something else. So I chose to run to become the first Latino elected to the Michigan State Senate. I'm still talking about what I've seen the last 10 years. How do y'all think the power brokers in our city took it when I announced that I was running for the Senate? I'll give you one example. A local Latino business leader very early on endorsed our campaign. Come to find out that some of these same state reps and reached. Round of applause for our tech people. After this Latino business leader announced that he was endorsing our campaign, I was made aware of the fact that some of those same state reps that I'm talking about reached out to that Latino business leader. And do y'all know what they told him? They told him that they needed him to stop supporting me because they also wanted to run for the same state Senate seat. And if he didn't stop supporting me, there was a good chance that he would lose some of the state funding that he was trying to get. Would y'all call that corruption? Is that right? I had colleagues when I was in the county, because again, I announced earlier that I was not running for re-election and that instead I was running for the state Senate. I had colleagues tell me until the end, the very last day of my county term, that in their opinion, I should have chosen to run for re-election to the county and then announce that I was running for the state Senate. Because that's what they tend to do. Some of these politicians run on serving a full 2-year, 4-year, 6-year, 8-year term, but they're lying. Their real intention is to use that seat as a stepping stone to run for something else. That's not what I'm about. What I'm about is all of you here today. What I'm about is building a bench of working class leaders who are going to listen not to the billionaires, not to the bosses and the manandos, but to you. That's some of what I've seen in the last 10 years. You know what else I've seen? I've seen brave activists putting their bodies and their futures on the line day after day in our streets. I've seen them come out when George Floyd died, when George Floyd was murdered. I've seen them come out when Patrick Lyoya was murdered. I've seen them come out when ICE has targeted our communities, whether you're a citizen or not. I saw them just yesterday using their rights to watch and film the police. And I've seen some of those same leaders get assaulted by TRPD. I've seen them have charges pressed against them for using their First Amendment rights. And guess how many times I saw local elected leaders out here with us? Very few. Very, very few. That is some of what I've seen in the last 10 years. Now, let me be clear. When I talk about the Democratic Party, I don't mean to say that every single person who shows up to their meetings is a bad person. I'm not saying that every single person who either works for the Democrats or has done work with the Democrats before is a bad person. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that it's time to take the Democratic Party back. My message to those politicians who choose to run under the banner of the Democratic Party is either get with the time or get the fuck out. This is our party and we're not going back. We're living in very dark times. Very dark times indeed. The people of Palestine have been suffering under the assault of a genocidal, maniacal regime that is Netanyahu and his Israeli government for almost 2 years now. In the last week, the Israeli government has attacked Iran, and in the last few years, they've attacked virtually every Middle Eastern country that surrounds their borders. How can you claim self-defense when you're the one launching bombs, children and women? The worst thing of it all is that those weapons, those bombs, are being bought with our tax dollars. We don't have money for tuition-free college. We don't have money for universal health care. We don't have money for law enforcement. We don't have money to fix up our broken streets, but we have money to send bombs around the world. And some of these politicians from both parties, they will tell you, well, somebody has to make bombs, don't they? We might be the ones that are making money off of that. I say no. We don't want war. We don't want war. Viva Palestina. I saw an academic post recently that since the day that this country was founded, the United States has launched, I think the number was around 400 acts of aggression around the world. That comes out to, I think, again, if I saw that correctly, every 8 months since this country was founded, the United States has attacked or had an act of aggression towards another nation. We do not want enough war. I'm going to read a couple of quotes to you now. These first few are from a guy who was named Eugene Debs 100 years ago. Eugene Debs was a labor leader and organizer and a candidate for president around the First World War. Eugene Debs said, they have always taught and trained you to believe it to be your patriotic. Eugene Debs was a labor leader and an anti-war candidate around the First World War, and a candidate for president. He said, "They have always taught and trained you to believe it to be your patriotic duty to go to war and to have yourselves slaughtered at their command. But in all the history of the world, you, the people, have never had a choice in declaring war. And strange as it certainly appears, no war by any nation in any age has ever been declared by the people. They tell us that we live in a great free republic, that our institutions are democratic, that we are a free and self-governing people. That is too much, even for a joke. Wars throughout history have been waged for conquest and plunder. And that is war in a nutshell. The master class has always declared the wars, the subject class has always fought the battles. But my friends, just as Eugene Debs said, I also say that I am not a capitalist soldier. I am a proletarian revolutionist. I do not belong to the regular army of the plutocracy, but to the irregular army of the people. I refuse to obey any command to fight for the ruling class. But I will not wait to be commanded to fight for the working class. I am opposed to every war but one. I am for that war with heart and soul. And that is the worldwide war of social revolution. In that war, I am prepared to fight in any way the ruling class may make necessary, even to the barricades. Eugene Debs was arrested and imprisoned for 10 years after making that speech. And we must be willing to sacrifice and fight as well. Not just at anti-Trump rallies, and not just once in a while, all the time, everywhere. I'm getting close to the end here, but that is the one message that I want you to take away from this, if you take away nothing else, is that there were thousands, I'm sure, thousands of people across the river at the rally just before this. Here, just take a It's great that you're here. It really is. I've been out here before with 10 people, 5 people, 20 people. Seeing this many people out here today is amazing. But you can't just show up today. You need to show up every day. There are a lot of organizations that are out here today. There are a lot of organizations that are doing good work across this city and across this county. I'm going to name a few that I have worked with, a few that I trust, and a few that are out here trying to change systems, not just mess around within the current broken ones. Pick one that calls out to you. I think some of these organizations have speakers lined up to speak after me. Pick one, ask about them, look them up, and I look forward to seeing you all here with them. These are those organizations. The Urban Poor Collective, Movimiento Cosecha GR, Grand Rapids, Rapid Response to ICE, the Grand Rapids Mutual Aid Network. Just on that last one, by the way, Grand Rapids School Board member Jose Rodriguez was kind enough to make a QR code for us. I'm gonna be carrying it around after I'm done here. Here, all you have to do is scan it. That's all you have to do. Pastime Solidarity Grand Rapids. The Party for Social. General Strike United States. And the Grand Rapids Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. Again, I'm getting pretty much close to the end here. But at the last rally, they were talking about running different types of candidates. I'm out here today to tell you that if you have ever thought about running for office, it doesn't matter if it's for city commission, school board, county commissioner, state representative, congressperson, we need you in the fight. Because these leaders are not leaders. Going on Hillary's Clinton, I ain't got time for it. Just to say this, Hillary Stolten has taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from the genocidal maniacs who are bombing women and children in Palestine. Hillary Stolten has voted to continue spying on all of us. We need a medic on the right side of the stage in case anybody is able and willing. Thank you. I'm wrapping up here. I want to leave you with one last quote. This is a quote that I tend to often end my speeches with, almost to the point where I don't need to have it written down. But since I wrote it down, I might as well use it. This is a quote by the late great Congressman John Lewis, who was assaulted and beaten by police for fighting for civil rights 60 years ago. John Lewis said, "Do not get lost in the sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to get into trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble." Thank you for being out here today, and I look forward to getting to get to know you all.
Check. You hear me out there? Does anybody hear me?
Okay, we get a little mic switch. Thank you so much, Ivan. If we want to change the state, we know that we have to bring in different reps, right? Ivan represents the working class, people like you and I, people that need support. We will not go back when we elect people like him that stand boots on the ground with us out here every single time. I'm really proud to bring this next person to the stage. They are with the Grand Rapids Alliance for Racist and Political Repression, here specifically to speak on racial injustice. Please welcome Joshua Ferguson to the stage. Grand Rapids, you continue to show up, and for that, I'm grateful. My name is Joshua Ferguson. I am a proud trans woman. And I am proud today to represent the Grand Rapids Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. Recently, Recently, I had the privilege to support the family of Patrick Loyola during the trial of his killer, former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Scher. One morning outside the courthouse, there were a few dozen of us chanting "Justice for Patrick." And at that moment, all of us happened to be wet. Down the sidewalk away stood the Blue Lives Matter crew. Yeah, I didn't think they'd get a great reaction here. Down the way stood a Blue Lives Matter crew, and at that moment, they were sitting silently against the back of the sidewalk, probably recovering from the trip from wherever they actually live. They were silent until the Loyola family and other Black activists joined our group. In that moment, I saw a switch flip within them as the Blue Lives Matter crew went from West Michigan nice to the tone of a Jackie Robinson film. That kind of vitriol and aggression that spewed forth from them was something I had never seen in person before. It might at first glance appear odd that a white girl from Zealand would be asked to talk about racial injustice, though I'm grateful to those at 5051 who asked me here today. There are many, many others with more life experience, more direct understanding, more firsthand, credible knowledge of the effects of state systems of oppression against our Black and brown neighbors. But it was clear to me on that sidewalk outside the courthouse, and it remains clear to me today how necessary it is for white folks to step up and try to solve the problem in our own house. It is way too easy for folks like me to ignore the dangers that racism poses to all of us. There are way too many of us that remain ignorant of the injustices that happen to Black and brown people that have been baked into our laws, our society, and our day-to-day life. Speaking for myself, I went to a school district that was 90% white, and my small Christian college was even more than that. There was only one adopted Black child on my street growing up. And outside of that, most of my interactions with Black culture came from movies about Ruby Bridges, Dr. King, and Black Panther. When you have that little interaction with another culture, it becomes increasingly easy for those in power to lie about them. To tell you tales of crime-ridden cities and gang culture. To define things like rap and hip-hop as being sinful or low class. Our own ignorance becomes a weapon of our own oppression. Racism and our ignorance that fuels it is not merely a cage imposed on others. Walls prevent movement in both directions. Racism limits our experience and dulls our senses. Racism rewards mediocrity and calls it merit. Racism divides the otherwise unruly so that we may be ruled. Racism and its constant visible consequences serve as a reminder to all at every level at the tower of social equality that there is a long way to fall to the bottom. And it's hard for us to climb upwards if we're looking down. When people are murdered in the street with no consequences, as Patrick Loyola was, there is little to suggest it cannot happen again if nothing changes. That should be all the motivation anyone needs to understand the urgency of the situation here in Grand Rapids and across the country. Patrick is far from the only victim of the state. Samuel Sterling was rammed by a Michigan State police officer into the wall of a Burger King. Riley Doggett was run over by a Kent County Sheriff's deputy. Breonna Taylor was shot in her sleep as officers stormed her apartment. All of these people were members of the Grand Rapids community who we have lost because someone thought a badge was a license to kill. In the days after their deaths, all of them faced defacements of their character as the government tried to justify those murders. Just yesterday, we saw two outstanding community leaders with a long track record of making Grand Rapids a better place to live, arrested by our own police for the crime of taking video. We then watched that same police force attempt to convince us that those community leaders were somehow at fault when we have video evidence to the contrary. All of these lies are enhanced by the knowledge that ignorance would help carry those lies. The direct harm that falls on our neighbors because of those lies, that harm is intolerable. If we truly believe that it's intolerable for this harm to occur, we're going to have to build trust together with those that have good reason to find us untrustworthy. Of course, everyone is going to find some comfort in the culture they were raised in. But if we continue to confine ourselves with what is comfortable, we will find that culture to be more jail than home. The options before us are either to ignore the atrocities that continue to occur, or to confront them with all the strength, cunning, and kindness we can muster. Will involve uncovering the ways in which we have been complicit, ways we have ignored, ways we have looked the other way. It will involve looking at the depth and breadth of our history that stretches far beyond this regime. Sorry. Lost my spot. Far beyond this regime to make the present day a horrifying reality. It will involve listening to those with more experience than I, and as a hint, if your lips are moving, you are not listening. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but it's not impossible, and it's far preferable to the Republican regime gaining power through our willingness to make it happen. If you're looking for low-hanging fruit to oppose this racist oppression, might I suggest you start with this simple task. Learn about your own neighbors. Start with your block. There is no one more qualified than you. Knock on your neighbor's door. Learn their names, where they work, what they do for fun. Invite them to dinner, to the game night, the campfire, or the park cookout. When you've finished with your block, go one more over. Our modern world has constantly demanded we replace the real world with a manipulated digital version that appeals to our ignorance so we remain divided. It lies to you about your neighbors in order to freeze you in a state of despair. All of this enhances the fascist elements that now oppress us. Every connection that you make is in stark opposition to the divisive racist regime that holds us down. if we as a community, as a city, if we get on the same page about our hopes, our fears, and our dreams, if we are able to heal the torn fabric of our society through constant, direct communication, if we are able to get past the barrier of our own discomfort, no matter what this regime attempts to pull in our town, Grand Rapids will be ready for it. I love you all very much. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Wow! 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 Okay. No king! 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 Do you know that it's Pride Month? Do we celebrate our queer community and support them? Next weekend is Pride in Grand Rapids for 2 days. Coming from Grand Rapids Pride all the way running across the rock the block just to share only briefly about what you can do at Pride next weekend to get involved is August from the GR Pride Center. Hello. I am August. I am a very proud queer and trans man. Happy Pride Month, and today I say no kings, just drag queens. I know that I will be talking quickly about what to do when it comes to Pride this weekend, but I think some things are important as well, and that is to discuss that. Talk louder, okay. I am very encouraged to see so many people here today. I hope to see all of you wanting to volunteer as well at the Grand Rapids Pride Festival. Go to grpride.org to see how you can volunteer. I will say it's amazing to see so many folks here, but at the same time, I would say I saw about 20 to 30 of us outside the courthouse for Petra Glioia. In a very white-dominated community, we need to show up for our community members of color. I recognize my privilege of presenting as a white cis male, and I recognize that my voice is heard, sadly, more than my peers of color. So what does that mean? That means more of us making events like this when our community members of color are assaulted, killed by our state. That means going to the Rapid Response for ICE, getting trained, and showing up for our immigrants in Grand Rapids. It has been time to show up, but now we must. Our immigrants of Grand Rapids are being illegally detained and deported, separating families, killing community members of color, even just this week, 2 black activists assaulted and arrested by GRPD. So when we post to protest for them, where will you be? Where will you be? When our immigrants are detained and kidnapped, where will you be? No more sitting on the sidelines. There's too many of us here today to not follow through.
show up for Grand Rapids Pride Festival because Pride is a protest. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. Wonderful. Okay, if you were here for 4 or 5, you heard Urban Core Collective talk about a ballot initiative coming up. I'm going to bring Erica out. She's at a tent over here. You can sign up to be a social justice captain and help collect some of those signatures. I'm going to be one. Plenty of other people are going to be one. This is how we change our state. This is how we protect each other. This is how we bring back to the people that need it. Right here in Michigan. Erica and I from Urban Core Collective.
My name is Erica, and I serve on the Education Justice Team at Urban Core Collective. Thank you to the team that organized this event and to all of you for showing up on this beautiful Saturday. Urban Core Collective is a racial justice and community organizing nonprofit located over at Madison and Hall. Our work is powered by community, by our belief that we all have a role to play in liberation and that we can all contribute to the movement. I typically prefer to be behind the scenes, but we're in this moment where we're all asking ourselves how we can show up, how we can stand up for the things we care about, for the people we care about in community. UCC has joined a statewide coalition called Michigan for the Many. It's a coalition focused on the idea that Michigan belongs to all of us, not just the wealthy few. It's the theme we're all here supporting, right? We're here saying our community should include resource public schools, access to Medicaid, clean lakes and rivers. We're here saying our queer and trans siblings and our undocumented neighbors are welcome. We're here saying we keep our community safe, not the Marines, the National Guard, ICE, or the police. But I hope you didn't just come here to talk. I hope that you came here looking for opportunities to get connected and to take action. Michigan for the Many is leading folks across the state in 3 ballot initiatives in the coming months. If you aren't super familiar with ballot initiatives, they're a way to take issues directly to the people. A way to go around the state legislature and ask voters to sign on and say, yes, this is how we want our community to work. We don't want to be run by corporations or by billionaires. We want communities that take care of everyone, regardless of the amount of money they have or the zip code that they live in. We want public schools where students with disabilities, Black students, immigrant and refugee students, poor students, rural students, queer students can all get a quality education. We want free and fair elections where a few folks or corporations with a lot of money don't have the power to determine the outcome. We want working class folks to have the ability to care for their family members when they're sick, to take time off when they give birth, to have the opportunity to grieve when they lose loved ones, all without fearing that they'll lose their jobs. In the coming weeks and months, you'll start seeing folks with those long clipboards stopping you and asking you if you think our public schools need more resources. Yes! If you think that corporate cash should stay out of elections. If you believe that folks should have guaranteed family leave. They're going to be working to create loving communities, humane communities, communities of care. If these are things that you care about too, then we invite you to join us. There's this quote that's been resonating with me lately from Hola Leon. Our practice, to be as dedicated to the joy and love as we are to the anger. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's felt anger in the past few weeks and months. Grief too, fear sometimes. But today, we're inviting you to channel that anger into action. Action fueled by love. Love for our neighbors, for folks who are like us, and who are different. The future we all deserve is not going to be handed to us. We have to show up and do the work, particularly those of us with privilege. right alongside those folks who are more vulnerable under the current administration. We have to be as dedicated to the love and the joy as we are to the anger. UCC will be leading signature collection in Kent County for these ballot initiatives, and we won't be able to do it alone. We're seeking volunteer signature collectors, we're calling them justice captains, to help share this critical information throughout the county, and we need your help to reach our signature goal of 40,000 signatures in Kent County and 400 to 600 signatures across the state to get these issues on the ballot in 2026. So, come find me at the UCC table. It's over there. It's got a bright yellow tablecloth to learn more about how you can support this critical work. You can also type this bit.ly link into your phone. Are you ready? It's bit.ly/justicecap. That's bit.ly/justicecap. Justice, CAPT. So bit.ly/justicecap to get that sign up for it. We are not powerless in this moment. We're everyday people, and we can use our collective power to make Michigan a more loving and equitable place for all of us. I believe in us. I believe in our power to do this, and I hope that you'll join us. Thank you. Thank you, Erica. We the people. 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 We will not go back. 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 No king. No king. No king. No king. No king. No king. Don't Trump. 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 You guys are great at it. We're getting ready to prep. We'll give you just a few more minutes to get everybody in line before we call you to the street. Really quickly coming up is going to be Justin from PSGR. They have a really important walk coming up. All eyes on Gaza. They are walking from Grand Rapids to Lansing. Grand Rapids to Lansing. 75 miles. Don't worry about it. Staying not in your homes. Jessica. All the time. Viva Palestina! Hello, Grand Rapids! My name is Jessica Plixa with Palestine Solidarity Grand Rapids, and it is an honor to speak with you all here today. Free Palestine! I come to you as a youth, as a student, as a preschool teacher, as a human being to ask you to stand with us in condemning the shredding of international law, the brutal and inhumane occupation of Palestine, and the slaughter of innocent children in Gaza. We are organizing a march against genocide Thursday, June 26th to Monday, June 30th, where we will walk more than 70 miles from Grand Rapids to Lansing. This is to raise money for the children of Gaza. And to educate small towns across West Michigan on the conditions Palestinian children are facing. By now, we should all be well aware of the inhumane treatment that Palestinians are subjected to by the U.S.-funded Israeli occupation. Shame! Shame! Our Palestinian friends are experiencing devastation and terror using our hard-earned tax dollars. And it's our responsibility to condemn the murder of the men, women, and children of Gaza. Palestine Solidarity Grand Rapids has been rallying and educating the community for 21 months, almost 2 years straight. All of this during the most horrific live stream of atrocities imaginable. If you haven't been involved in the movement for international justice and self-determination, now is the time to join us. We need you to stand with us as we march to Lansing to raise money for two important and worthy causes impacting the children of Palestine. Heal Palestine brings injured children from Gaza to the U.S. for critical, life-saving medical care that's not available in Palestine because of the devastation our bombs have caused to their medical infrastructure. Shame! Shame! Heal Palestine allows families to rebuild their lives with dignity and hope. We are also marching to raise money for playgrounds for Palestine, which upholds the right to play as enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. They do so by building playgrounds in displacement camps. In the face of trauma and violence, the simple act of play becomes a powerful form of healing and expression. As a community-focused people, we know that it is our responsibility to step up and fight for the rights of our global family. We ask you to walk with us. The population of Gaza contains more children than adults, and they should have the same right to a childhood that your children, your nieces and nephews, or your neighbors have. Gaza's children are our children. Say it with me. Gaza's children are our children. Gaza's children are our children. If you are able-bodied, we ask you to march with us for an hour, for a day, for all 5 days. If you can't walk, then we ask you to volunteer your time as a driver or cyclist. If you're a cook, we ask you to support the march with food. If you're financially comfortable, we ask you to donate $10, $20, $200 to these noble causes. There is a place for every single person, and now is the time to stand up against genocide.